Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this meeting, or the Leaders Portfolio meeting, to look at the issue of buying a crane, which the council would then lease to Portico. So, ladies and gentlemen, usual things, no fire alarm, so if there is one, it's real, and you're going to be live streamed, Fiona. So, apologies for absence. We have apologies, I understand it, from Stephen Morgan. But we think Donna is around somewhere. Any declarations of interest, Claire? No, neither from me. Forward plan and mission. Sorry, it wasn't on the forward plan. Are we happy to go ahead? Yes. Yes. Exclusion of press and public. Fiona, would you like? No. As long as we don't refer, we need to formally do it, but as long as we don't refer to the confidential appendix at the back, we can have the meeting without asking Fiona to go. Claire, are you okay with that?
Yeah, from that.
You okay with that, folks? Okay, great. So formally move that we are in exempt session, but we won't try not to, which is in relation to the appendix only. Okay, purchase of crane. Chris, Mark.
Thank you, Leader. I think the important thing to say about this, just by way of background, is that this is...
Stephen, hello. We thought you weren't joining us. Welcome. Carry on, Christopher.
So this actually simply brings forward a planned purchase earlier than we had anticipated. So ordinarily this would have featured as part of the Council's capital programme, but not until a later year. The reason for bringing it forward is because we have the opportunity for increased trade if we are to acquire a replacement crane at this time, which basically has greater reach and greater capacity. So we're bringing it where it's already planned. It was already planned as a PCC purchase as opposed to a Portico purchase, which you might naturally think is the route to go. And that's simply because it provides the council with the greatest level of security over a loan which it will have to undertake in order to make that purchase. So the council will in effect own the asset, and in the event that there is any difficulties with Portico in the future, then the council still has ownership of that asset and has an asset that it can sell in order to be able to cover off any outstanding debt that it would have. And cranes tend to have good second-hand resale value too. I think the other important point is that the financial case for the purchase is quite clear. I will refer to one part in the exempt appendix, but I don't think this is exempt information anyway. But within the overall assessment, the acquisition of the crane as opposed to doing nothing will mean that the council overall over the life of the investment is about just under £3 million better off, even after taking account of the costs of acquiring the new crane. And the other piece of important context is that this was all part of, if you recall, the financial plan that came to Cabinet and Council earlier in the year, March time, where the options for how to go forward with the Portico site should best be used. And with this as part of that plan, the options available to the council were that to continue with Portico would give an overall investment return over the 20-year period of around about £70 million, and that was at least 5 times better than every other alternative option for the site. So, any questions? Then either myself or Mark are happy to answer.
For Stephen, just for to be technically correct, have you any interests you wish to declare?
I have none.
Great. Join the club. Okay, Mark, anything you'd like to add?
I think Chris has done a good job at summarising it. I think it's important to emphasise that prior to the decision being made, it's important to note that the council should be asking the same questions as a private sector shareholder would ask, such as, is the crane needed at this time? Is the business case sound? Is it commercially justified? Are the risks acceptable? Officers, directors of the council have made that assessment, and the conclusion is that a private sector shareholder would invest in this crane and lease it to Portico.
Okay. My understanding is that these are made to orders. It'll take 6 months to arrive, but it's at Gottwald. Is that the correct?
Yes, that's correct. Gottwald is the preferred make of the crane.
But it'll take a while to arrive. But actually, the work that we need this to do is imminent, and it would be foolish for the council to put this off if we're going to try to make sure that we keep clients coming to use Portico, which brings money into the council. And all our job here to do, I think, is to wash this through and send it on to full council for Tuesday. So I think this sounds sensible. Stephen? Claire? Lovely. Okay, in which case, I think we are unanimous. Thank you very much. That's it.